But I can do it. Okay, here it goes. I'm Pamla Sterner, and I am a recovering workaholic. Yes, that means I am unemployed. Yeah. Well, see, becoming a workaholic started out a little bit slow at first, so I didn't feel so bad. And then it was like every now and then, can you come in on a Saturday? All right, other people were doing that too. But before long, this is really hard to admit, but before long, I stopped being a social worker. I actually started to take work home with me. I know. And I was embarrassed by it because I didn't want my family to know, so I would hide work underneath the couch cushions, hoping nobody would notice. And then after everybody went to bed, then I would take out the work and I would do it. But I'm on my road to recovery right now because my boss, well, actually I remember the day quite well. It was a regular work day. She called me into her office and she said, Pam, are you stupid or is it me? And I said, everybody in the office knows you don't hire stupid people. So I emptied my drawers and was escorted out the building. So it's been 225 days since my last fix or job. Yeah, at first I really liked it. I loved the freedom. I mean, I was on Facebook all the time, playing Words with Friends, Candy Crush, and all that stuff. But it got boring after a while, because I didn't have to look over my shoulder to see if the boss was going to catch me. And then it dawned on me, nobody was paying me to be on Facebook anymore. So that sucked. So then it wasn't long and I was drawn to other internet sites. Yeah, you know them. USAjobs.gov. Yeah, I know. Monster.com. Well, at first, all I did was I simply just kind of did a search on jobs in the DMV area. But pretty soon that wasn't fulfilling enough for me. I actually started clicking on individual jobs and reading the benefits and the pay. I would start to drool. And I would fantasize about how much that company would surely appreciate a workaholic like myself. And then, this is really hard to admit, but it got to the point where I actually applied for the job. I know. And then I would check my email several times a day, hoping my fix was going to come, but it never did. My body started shutting down, started to quiver and shake. I needed my Starbucks fix. I couldn't afford it. So a friend of mine said, Pam, you need to find a headhunter. And I said, okay. So I'm thinking Starbucks might be a good place to look. So I went to Starbucks in DC and I sat down with my little glass of water, wishing that I could have my venti soy caramel macchiato on ice. When all of a sudden a man approached me and he said, you look kind of sad. Is there anything I can do to help you? And I said, yes, I'm looking for a headhunter. And he said, well, I'm hunting for some head. So he offered me a job right on the spot. And I told myself, it's okay. A blowjob is still a job, you know? And it wasn't long, and other men started offering me a position on my knees. You have to start at the bottom sometimes. That glass ceiling was starting to look really high. But I'm just telling you guys this, that because of the sequester and the furloughs and stuff, some of you guys might find yourself in the same position. Yeah. And luckily, I think there's enough headhunters to go around for all of us. But I think you guys are going to start to drool over your car, remembering the 20 hours a week you used to spend together. And then you're going to have to learn your children's names, and that's gonna suck. But it's getting harder for me now that I'm getting older because there just aren't that many jobs out there. And I hate getting older. See, the thing is, I used to be a MILF. Oh, don't laugh, that's not a joke, I was. Yeah, no, really, truly. I know, I don't look like it now, but yes, I was. And then I became a cougar, and I thought, that's still pretty cool when you think about it. And I was actually still thinking that I was a cougar until I looked it up on the internet. Turns out they only live to be about 30 in captivity. And I've been in captivity or married for 38 years, so not a cougar. Now that I'm a grandma, I guess that makes me a gilf, and that pretty much sucks, so. And my wild oats have turned into shredded wheat. But you know, a lot of times people ask me what the secret to our long marriage is, and I tell them we stayed married because of the kids. Neither one of us wanted custody of them. It's true. It's really true. So now that I've gotten to this point in my life, my 4 favorite words are, your prescriptions are ready. Now, in California, that would mean here's your pot. But we're from Colorado, the Amsterdam of the United States. You may or may not have noticed in our last election, Colorado has legalized marijuana for recreational uses. Yeah, I knew you guys would like that. And it's really doing a great job too. They got a new model. Come to Colorado for the vacation you'll never remember. And the people there, who are already pretty mellow, are now so mellow. Crime's way down. Nobody's motivated to do anything, you know? There's only been one major statewide problem having to do with snack food. There isn't any, so. I was thinking if Hostess could have held out for one more year, they could have relocated to Colorado. We would still have Hostess Twinkies today. And that would have been really great, so. So my favorite prescription is Ambien. I'm probably doing this on Ambien right now. But Ambien can make you do things and then forget about them afterwards, which might explain the email I got on my way up here tonight. Said my ex was looking for me. And I didn't remember having an ex. So it must have been an Ambien moment. And I thought, gosh, if I had an ex, that would mean there was a time I was married to 2 guys at the same time. And that would make me a bigot. No, wait, that's not good. Let's see, being married to 2 guys at the same time, that would make me ambidextrous. No. However, that would come in handy if you were married to 2 guys at the same time. See, being married to 2 guys at the same time would make me stupid. And I may be blonde, but I'm not stupid. So. Well, when I first started taking Ambien, it was a few years ago. I was much younger, and my husband really loved the Ambien sex. That was the sex we would have between the time I take the Ambien and the time it actually knocked me out. I've become so extroverted, so uninhibited, I was liable to do just about anything. My husband loved that. Until one night, when he couldn't find me. He looked out the window, he saw I was getting on with a neighbor. And I didn't even know I liked women in that way. And I wouldn't have known it except he videotaped the whole thing. So, now I did find out Ambien and Facebook don't go together very well. Because the next day I found out that 5 guys I didn't even know had poked me, and all the sheep were missing from my farm. But my husband just recently started taking that little blue wonder pill, Viagra, and Ambien's also a little blue pill. So I said, you know, this is going to work out pretty good. You take your little blue pill, and I'll take my little blue pill. As long as you don't wake me up, we're going to both be happy. But the next morning, My ass was killing me.